am I? That's a tough one. If you had asked me that maybe 9 months ago, I'd be like, hi, I'm Lynn. I'm a vegan, I'm feminist, I am half Russian and half Congolese, and I'm taking these classes, and I'd probably cite big life events. My name is Lynn Tranikova. I'm from London. I live with my mum and my little brother, who's 11. My mum is originally from Russia, and my dad is from the Republic of Congo. My mother and father met in university in St. Petersburg. Once they graduated, they decided to move to France, where they lived for 5 years, and then they moved to the UK, where I was born. Growing up with parents from very, very different backgrounds culturally from the one that I've grown up in has been interesting. I was taught how to cook and iron when I was maybe 8 years old, because one day you're going to have a husband, Lynn, and you're going to have to look after him. In the time that I lived with my father, I was exposed to a bit of Congolese culture, but never been to Congo. I never really wanted to go. At the age of 9, my mother and my brother and myself, we all moved out from the house where we lived with my father because he was very abusive, and when he got drunk, he would just be really angry. I have memories of seeing my mum pinned up against the wall with her neck being held in a chokehold. My mum and my grandparents, whenever I went to Russia, would always say children should be seen and not heard. A lot of my friends, especially my white friends, have relationships with their parents where they're practically friends. And I could never say the same. My mum will get annoyed at the smallest things because of how I said something. My mum is a beauty therapist, so anything to do with beauty, she does that. My mum is the kind of person that will put on makeup when she's going to the shop 3 minutes down the road. But for me, I will go in my pajamas with bedhead. My parents came to the UK totally poor. My mum told me that there would be times where they were not able to afford one Happy Meal between them. And I think that both of my parents recognized that the way out of that for me was education. I grew up in a really, really poor area in North London called Tottenham. For my secondary school, I went to a place called St. Michael's, which is in North Finchley, which is in a more affluent area of London. I left St. Michael's and went to Woodhouse College rather than staying on in St. Michael's because I despised it. St. Michael's for me was the pinnacle of the kind of place that enforces the idea that students are only worth their grade. Woodhouse is somewhere which is the complete opposite in St. Michael's. You could come to school wearing whatever you wanted. You could have as many piercings as you wanted and hair colours, and you could have whatever opinions you wanted, and that would be totally okay. St. Michael's was a very rich and white place. And I would go in, and pretty much everyone around me was someone who didn't look like me. My father is black and my mum is white, and so even at home, I didn't have anyone to turn to in terms of what I looked like. I started to straighten my hair because most of the people around me had that. So for the first year that I was at college, I had totally straight hair, but then I just had this moment of realization, and I think it came from spending a year with people that were all so varied. I was like, hey, yeah, I have curly hair, and it's fucking cool. I was on a bus one day, and this guy comes up to me. He went to my college, he was in the year above me, and he started asking about what I'm doing for university. And I said, I have no idea, because depending on whether I was going for law or biology, I'd be applying to different places. And he said, have you ever considered liberal arts? And I was like, I have no idea what that is. And he said, oh, it's what they do in America. And I was like, why are you telling me about America? That's great, good for them. He told me about a program which is called the Certain Trust, and it's meant for students in public schools who are interested in US study. And I went, hey, why not? You know, America, it's new. I haven't been there before. Let's go for it. This is like a really bad reason to apply and choose to go to a college. But on the program, I met a guy named Elliot Miller, who is currently a student here. And I was like, he's pretty cool. I guess if people like him go to Middlebury, then it can't be too bad a place. When I told my mum that I was considering studying in America, she kind of dismissed it as cool, nice little thing like that one time, and I was like, I'm gonna learn Japanese, and then I did it for a week and then gave up. Only really sunk in with her that I was going to the US the day that I got into Middlebury. For me, it was a very casual thing. I was like, yeah, Mom, I'm going to the US. And for her, it was like, oh, what? It was just sitting on the plane and going, well, I hope that I like this place, because otherwise I've made a great mistake. Within my first few weeks of getting to Middlebury, I found out I talk in my sleep. And so I can tell you exactly what I said about myself this one night. Hi, I'm Lynn. I'm pretty cool. I like to drink wine and party. That's literally it. Apparently, that is what unconscious Lynn thinks of Lynn. I think that sums it up. That's it.